That is up to you. I'm not telling you not to give it. I'm telling you that it was not. I don't see it in the Bible where God is requiring us to give that of our salaries every month. And I'll read the rest of information regarding the 20%, but I have not seen it in the Bible either, right? But if you want to give it, go ahead. All right, so we are looking at some strategies to cope in the church. As I said, sometimes it might become difficult, it might become taxing to survive. One of the things that I keep in mind is that persons in the church are sinners just like myself. So persons will have faults, persons will be annoying at times, persons will do various things, but I am no better than them. So I cannot afford to get upset and decide that I'm not going to be a part of the church because that person did something wrong or that person did something wrong, because I also do things wrong. None of us is perfect. They said that the church is a hospital, but some persons not responding to medication. So, but we have to just keep in mind that even though I might not do some of the things that somebody else does, there are things that I do that displeases God as well. And I have to be patient with the persons, just like how God is patient with me. Right? One other key thing, and I want somebody to tell me one technique, one rule that you use to survive in the church. One key thing is to develop a forgiving heart. If you are not forgiving, you won't survive. If everything bothers you and you keep it in your mind and your heart for months and years, you might still come, but you're not growing closer to God. You have to develop a forgiving heart. Persons will do things whether intentionally or unintentionally. We have to be prepared to forgive them. A number of times things will happen and persons say, right as it happened, I will never forgive them. So you're planning that you will not forgive. You have to lose that attitude and know that this thing needs forgiveness. I have to reach a stage where I'll forgive the person. Somebody will say something bad about you, somebody will do something harmful to you, but you have to be prepared to forgive. And that is one of the key ways to stay connected to God and remain in the church. And the last one that I'll share before I take from two persons is to focus on your goal for being in church. Your goal should be to make it to heaven. Your goal is not to be a disciple of brother so-and-so or sister whoever. So if God forbids brother so-and-so does something terrible, you don't lose focus because it was not your aim. It was not your reason for being at church. So you have to remind ourselves why we are here. We are here to make it to heaven. We're not here for the friendship that we share with whoever. So the person stop talking to us, we're not going back to church again. And some things take reminders. It's not just, sometimes we lose focus, we forget, and we have to remind ourselves, my aim for being at church is to have a closer relationship with God. It is not about any human being. So it doesn't matter what human beings say, don't say, it doesn't matter. So if I sit down and nobody calls to me, my aim for being at church was not to get called to. I visit churches, a number of churches, right? And when I was not in Linstead, I was visiting churches to see where I'm comfortable. So I'd go from time to time, and I didn't care if anybody called to me, because as a matter of fact, when church over, jump in the car and go about the business, because I went there to listen to the message. So if people don't call to you, people don't smile with you, even if it's nice when people smile with you, nice when you get a hug, but your aim for going is to have a closer relationship with God. All right, so two persons share the tips that you use to help you to stay focused in church. Yes, the cordless mic is not working very well, so speak loudly.
All right.
Right, so Brother Samuda was saying you have to meditate on the Word of God, meditate on God, communicate with God in your heart, right? So that is very important. We mentioned part of that, and he said each person has a guardian angel, right, who is taking record, and that is important to us because they are taking your angel is taking records of what you are doing. So you have to ensure that your life is lived in such a way that the record that goes back to heaven is a good record because it will be used against you. So while you are here, it's not about sister over not helping anybody. It's whether I am helping anybody, whether I am feeding the poor, helping the sick, whether I'm being kind to somebody. It's not whether this person is a liar or a thief. It's whether I am doing these things. So it is important to examine ourselves and ensure that we are doing the things that are pleasing to God and that our lives are not distracting other persons from God. Ensure that what we are doing is not becoming an hindrance to someone else who is trying to make it to heaven. All right, so I'll say two hands, and I'm going to take the two hands. Yes, Sister Natalie. Do unto others as we have them do unto us. Thanks very much. Sister Lois. Sister Lois, you can come up a little closer up the aisles. The mic is kind of, it sounds funny, but try it anyway.
Okay, is that I have to be like the 5 wise virgins. All of us are dressed alike, looking alike, going to the house of God. But I have to make a difference that when the bridegroom comes, I will be ready to enter into the marriage supper. I won't be running around and looking for material, but I will be set because I look forward to the day when my Lord will return and take his children home. And this is my focus, that there be no more sorrow, sickness, pain, or death. The former things will be passed away, and behold, all things will become new. When I see Jesus, that means a lot to me. The songwriter said, this is just what heaven means to me.
Do you want to sing that song to close our school? Sister Lois? She's not hearing me. All right, thank you very much for your participation. Thank you very much. Is it coming to sing? You can use one of the better mics. But thank you very much for your participation. So enjoy the rest of the Sabbath. Sister Lois is going to sing the song to close us out. My guest singer didn't turn up, so I'm glad that somebody is willing to sing.
This is just what heaven means to me. It's a country where no twilight shadows deepen. An ending day where joy shall never cease. It's a city where no storm clouds ever gather. Oh, this is just what heaven means to me. When we get over yonder, hallelujah, and join the throngs upon the glassy sea, we'll greet our loved ones and crown Christ forever. Oh, this is just what heaven means to me. Yes, what will it be when we get over yonder? Hallelujah, we'll join the thrones upon the glassy sea. Yes, we'll greet our loved ones and crown Christ forever. Hallelujah, this is just what heaven means to me.
Happy Sabbath, brothers and sisters. It's always a joy to be in God's house. Thanks for Sabbath school, Brother Carlton. Yes, I'm sure it's an eye-opener to many of us, and it will help us to make church meaningful and to enjoy fellowship. Brothers and sisters, we are reminded of our responsibility as a church. This is personal ministry time, the time when we promote the missionary endeavors of the church. Now, if we should look at the early church and the zeal that they had, the fearless zeal they had to spread the message, to share the message without fear, without favor. They did it with joy. And even in the face of persecution, they went ahead knowing that they were doing the right thing by leading people to the risen Christ. Now, when I look at the church today, comparing it with the church of yesteryear, I believe with all my heart that there's a disconnect. And there must be some way to find that missing link and link the church together so the church will have that zealousness to spread the message of salvation. I'd like to share from Advance, this book for church leaders and for those who are doing missionary work. This is a story of God's goodness, the God who heals. And this is taken from a brother living in Haiti. It says, it was a Friday evening around 10 o'clock when my wife suddenly screamed at the top of her voice because of excruciating pain linked to a kidney problem. I had to rush to the hospital. That's Friday. I had to rush to the hospital with her despite the high level of insecurity in Haiti, because you know what is taking place in Haiti. On arrival, the medical staff administered the necessary care with the greatest urgency. On Sabbath, the next day, Sabbath morning, I was due to finish